Ooh, check
Cool.
that out. Come on
Hey, what's up,
now.
y'all?
Travis coming in hot.
I like that
So, guys,
background.
I wasn't expecting it to jump right in and have you guys all right there, but it's cool that they did. So, it's good to see you all. How you guys doing?
Great.
Good. How are you,
Excellent.
man?
Good, good, man. Happy to talk with all of you about the 4:30 movie. I really enjoyed this. I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith, and I love. It's nice to see him do this kind of movie because I don't think he's quite done this kind of thing before. I'll just get started. First of all, let's start with you, Austin. You kind of get to play like the Kevin Smith stand-in, like the analog. What was that like? Playing a version of himself with him kind of watching over you do it. That has to be challenging in a way.
Yeah, it was terrifying to say the least. I was constantly trying to get reassurance, but he literally was almost like just was acting like Silent Bob, just being like, yeah,
Mhm.
just giving me thumbs up and shit. And it was very terrifying, and I was didn't know what was really happening until the good saving grace is that he would cut the footage, pretty much.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm still here.
Or
okay.
the saving grace with it all is that he would pretty much cut the footage that night or that day. So I would get to see a scene and be like, okay, like I did something that wasn't like that was okay, I guess, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Sienna, you get to play Melody, is kind of the love interest of the movie. What was that like for you? Kevin Smith has a really unique way of writing women, and I love your character in this. Talk to me about the role and what you saw in her that you also see in yourself, if anything.
Oh man. Well, I think just coming to set, I actually had no idea that I was based off of a real woman, and I was lucky enough to meet her. And so that was pretty powerful. I think it felt Melody was she was very whole. Like he just created someone that was so strong as a person, and that was really inspiring for me to play. But then it all made sense once I met the girl, and I can see that in her. And I think that that was just he has a really great way of translating a real person into a character in this movie. What I see in myself, oh man, I hope I can have the amount of confidence and uh self-assurance that Melody has, but I think that that's my favorite part of that character.
Nick, you're the only one without a cool background, man. What's going on, man?
Well, I was told by studio heads that my background was too risque. So,
I really wish I could have seen it. You get to play Bernie, who's kind of the ladies' man of the crew. Talk to me about anything you see in yourself, in him, if anything, and how much fun did you have in this role?
only the repulsive parts is what we have in common. Certainly not a ladies' man. Yeah, I did. I'll tell you what, it was just a joy to goof off with these kids right here. That was the sweet spot right there, and there's certainly, of course, there's going to be some parts of yourself that you can't completely eliminate that are going to shine through in some characters that I guess I embraced, and I suppose the goofball in me was really what just is what bled through.
Hmm. Reed is Billy. Here's the thing with your character. So for me, every Kevin Smith movie, one character gets a great monologue. Like it doesn't matter whether he's doing a serious movie or something goofy like Jay and Silent Bob. Everybody gets something like a monologue that ties the whole thing together. I feel like your character has that in this movie, where he's trying to keep the friendship together. Talk to me about that scene and just your experience as a whole shooting this movie.
Yeah, I think one of the best parts about being an actor is I view every character right as extensions of yourself, but you're thinking about what dials of your personality or your own way of living to turn up and turn down. And I feel like with this character, I really got to turn like the freakiest parts of myself to an 11 out of 10, which was a real joy. And I think for that big scene, Nick and Austin brought so much like guttural heart to it, that it was really easy for me to go there too. I was really just going off of what they came with. So if they came in and were a little bit more mild, I'm sure my moment would have felt more mild. But because they came in fully energized, and I know that Billy is a real listener, he's going to meet them exactly where they are at. And so it was very easy, honestly, to just jump right in and stay focused and give these two the kind of spank on the bottom that I think they needed in that moment.
Questions for all of you. This movie is set basically in one place at this movie theater that Kevin Smith used to hang out growing up. I had a similar place like that in my youth, at the movie theater that I sort of hung out at all day. Do you guys have anything like that in your own lives? A place like that where your friends all sort of get together and just, like you could spend the whole day there and not even realize that you've done it?
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Austin, but all of you can answer.
Growing up, there was this like local kind of like gas station / convenience store called Lucky's in the neighborhood that I grew up in. And every day after school, starting probably in like 4th grade, maybe 3rd grade, everyone would ride their bikes there, and then we'd all just hang out there and get food or whatever. And then that kind of everyone did that until like 7th and 8th grade came in, and then people got a little more risque, where certain people would try to like steal beer from the place, and then like cigars, and then weed got introduced later on. And it was always, there was like a lot of different experiences that I had at that place, from going with my grandma as a kid, getting my first sub sandwich, to smoking weed for the first time.
Oh, dude. Wow, man. Chill
Well,
out.
so here's the thing for me is, for you guys, one of the things, you guys feel like real friends in this movie. How closely did you guys get along during this? Because it doesn't always happen that way, where the chemistry just sort of works. Did it work for you guys? Did you guys become friends while shooting this?
Yeah.
We had to.
Yes.
No, I just my arm. These guys are awesome. It was a small town, so it's funny because we sort of lived the lives of our characters. We
Wow.
were put in, the small town that Kevin grew up in, and quite literally in his cinema. So found we found our spots, and whether that was Wawa or our hotel room or one little bougie cafe that we found on the street of the theater, we just spent a lot of time together, and I was lucky enough that these guys are not bad to hang around. So
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like it was instant connection, which is such a rare thing. And when we were filming, that was something that, because I remember Kevin was cutting footage and he was like, is this gonna work? Is this worth making a movie about? And I was just like, dude, do you not realize the jackpot of like casting that like this is? Like it's pretty hard to get people that organically just are like hit it off right away. Like it's kind of crazy. Me and Nick don't really get along, but like me and Sienna and Reed, like, are best friends. It's amazing.
It's funny he says that because within minutes of us meeting, he was in my shower.
That's true.
It is true.
That's true. That's true.
Very true.
Together, we were in the shower together within
Yeah,
minutes.
you blackmailed me.
Travis, I'm going to tell you something I've been thinking about a lot recently.
All
Someone
right.
presented me with these ideas of what it means to be in a true community versus what it means to be in pseudo community. Pseudo community, right, could be your coworkers, could be like, when you don't get to pick the people you're around, you find ways to form community,
Right.
in order to survive. And that could be a pseudo community. And I feel like the really special thing that Kevin does and does really well is he's really good at building community on set. And I think he really set the tone for how the whole project, that's his job, right? Of course, as the director, producer, is all of it, but he set such a positive tone for how the whole project was going to go that it was really easy, I think, at least for me, to build true community, not just with my co-stars, but even with the cast, creative team, everyone involved too.
Well, I think you touch on something that kind of goes back to all of Kevin Smith's movies as a whole. They all are, or at least a lot of them in some way, are about people kind of creating makeshift families along the way. You see a lot of his cast that work together all the time. You see the characters kind of populate. They all in each other's orbit all the time. They create families even when they're not related by blood, and it's a theme in a lot of his movies. And it seems like he brought that to this one as well, which I think is really cool. Thanks a lot, you guys. I really had a lot of fun talking to you. I hope I get to talk to you guys again about some other stuff in the future. And good luck with the film. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Excellent
Thank
meeting
you.
you,
Thanks a lot,
Travis.
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thanks
your
so much,
time.
man.
Have a good one.
Awesome.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.